Herschy and Keegs show.
All right, guys, we are live. Look at this.
We're here again. We made it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It's the Herschy and Keegs show. We're back for another episode. We want to thank you guys for listening live. If you're on the link, if you go to our YouTube page, you can comment live. We'll answer you, all our fans. And please share. Please share this with everybody. Spread the word. And we're happy to be here. Thank you guys for listening. And I'm Mike Keegan. Here's Mark Hirschman. And we got our producer, Sally O'Neill. We're about to have some fun. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Sally.
Hey, guys.
Silly Sally, she goes by now officially.
Silly Sally from the Valley.
She changed her driver's license since last week, and she is now Silly Sally.
Silly Sally from the Valley.
So, everyone doing good?
Doing great. How was everyone's week since the last premiere episode of the? It's been wild.
It's been wild. You know, there was a lot of paparazzi. There was a lot of feedback, a lot of calls, a lot of calls from the press. Yeah. I would say that
it's been overwhelming.
Overwhelming. I would say that my high didn't die down until probably by like Friday.
Yeah,
Friday. Yeah. Very high.
Absolutely. It didn't feel real for the first couple of days.
It doesn't feel real.
Still doesn't feel
real.
Dream come true.
Yeah. But if I can, I'd like to tell you a little story that had happened where life felt real again.
You had a real thing happening this weekend, I hear.
So I was still, in that celebrity mode that nothing domestically can change my life, affect me in any way.
Nothing can stop Mark Hirschman.
Nothing. I'm on a cloud. I'm up to several hundred views on YouTube. So that's pretty much fame, almost, right? I mean,
I don't see any other way.
Right, exactly. So I don't know if in your neck of the woods, but I live locally.
We live in a gated community now.
Yeah.
Because
so we had some pretty horrific weather last week, as you know, on Friday.
Windy.
Terribly windy. Okay.
When I said I wanted to get blown last Friday, I wasn't talking.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! Ding ding ding.
So the weather. So it's very windy, okay? And then I would say, the day before, Stacy had given me the usual warnings of put this there, tie that outside there.
Batten down the hatches.
All the directives that I'm supposed to follow to make sure that if a tsunami hits, that we're prepared.
As the head of the household.
The man of the
house.
The HOH.
We all know Max is the man of the house.
Correct.
But, I know.
So, that what I do, which is absolutely none of those things.
Exactly.
Not one thing do I pay attention to.
Very little manly things about me and Mark.
Because I am a big, stupid loser, okay? There's no question about it. So it must be the next morning, and the wind's still whipping, but I'm definitely in a deep sleep. I had woken up around 6 to take care of the dogs. I lay back on the couch, and I hear Max puttering into the kitchen around 6:15, 6:30 because he's a total fucking insomniac like his father, and God forbid, the kid ever sleeps.
You raised another little maniac.
Oh my God! So Max opens up the shades in the kitchen because that's what a kid needs to do at 6:15, get the shades going, and he turns to me and he says, "Dad, the basketball hoop is through Mom's windshield."
Oh my goodness.
Through Mom's windshield. Now, so listen, I've been a unscrupulous piece of shit for most of my life. I usually can think, let's just say he said, well, you were supposed to tie down the garbage cans or put them behind the fence. I can always run outside. I can chase them down the street. I can do something to fix the screw up that I did without her knowing before she wakes up.
Yeah.
But basketball hoop in the windshield is not one that you can.
Tough to cover that one up, buddy.
You can't. There's nothing. And I tried. I went outside and I literally pulled the basketball hoop out of the car, Jesus. And I placed it on the ground, and there was no.
It's like, quick, Max, safe light repair, safe light replace.
So,
before Mommy wakes up.
So so Anna gets up, and then I see Stacy go into the upstairs bathroom to get ready, and I just yelled to her, the basketball hoop went through the windshield.
You're Clark Griswold.
Yeah.
You're Clark Griswold.
And I will say that her reaction was better than I thought. I thought I was going to be stabbed
Not
shocked.
I told you so, you fucking idiot.
No, it was definitely better than I thought. There's no question about it. It was better than I thought. So I said, I'm going to drive the kids to school in my car. I'll come back and get you, drive you to work, come get you later, and everything is going to be okay. I'll get this taken care of, okay? So, of course, as we're opening the door for me to drive the kids to school, a deluge of rain comes down.
Oh, Jesus.
Like the heaviest downpour you could possibly imagine. So that, of course, gets her cranked up and fired up, and rightfully so, because she was concerned that water was gonna.
Now, idiot husband didn't put anything over the
nothing.
windshield.
Not a piece of tinfoil, saran wrap. Nothing. I did nothing whatsoever. Yeah. So drove her to work. Turns out that water did not get into her 2020 beautiful Durango because it was caved in, but it wasn't fully smashed in. Okay, and ultimately I had made multiple calls. SafeLight. Then SafeLight tells me, "Well,
you did SafeLight.
We can be
is
there.
That the only one? I don't even know.
It's no problem. We can. I call Allstate. They said it's no problem. SafeLight's coming. They'll be there Tuesday at 4. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, now the sweat is pouring off of me at this point because she's at work. The kids are at school, and I have to get this goddamn thing figured out. Yeah. So I go on a mad scramble, text every single person I know. Luckily, someone's like, "Call up Dennis; he'll take care of it." Okay.
Well, at least you're not a nervous, anxiety-riddled person to begin with, you know.
But luckily, Dennis, like, dude, I answer the phone, and you could tell, as many people do, Dennis he detested me so much from the minute he heard my voice. Oh, yeah. He hated me. Because I was like, hey, this is, Mark Hirschman, I'm friends with so-and-so, and my window fell in the car, and he's like, dude, it's Friday. I've had a long fucking week, okay?
I have this whiny little Jew calling me up.
Yeah. That's exactly what and he wasn't even hiding it. He's like, you got to slow down. We'll work through this together. That's exactly what he said. We're going to work through this together.
We're going to work through this together.
So,
like he's like a birth doula or something.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same
I'm like,
thing.
all right, Dennis, thank you. Okay. So he's like, all right. So we're doing breathing exercises together. Okay. He's like, all right, what's the number that you called? And I'm like, 1-800-ALLSTATE. He's like, no, dude, what's the number that you fucking called right now? I'm like, I called your number. He's like, which number? I have a lot of numbers. And then I hear him, what I think he's doing is saying, hang on for a second. And he leaves his phone, and I think he's talking to someone else about someone else. He's like, I'm in no fucking mood for this fucking guy right now. Oh my God. Fuck this guy. So he comes back, and I'm like, no, it's okay. You can go talk to that person about whoever you were talking about. He's like, dude, I was talking about you. He's like,
he has no respect for you.
That's what he said. He goes, I was talking about you. Now, of course, my first inclination is like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, I'm not taking this shit.
But I also need this guy.
I'm like, Dennis, when can you be here?
Yeah, exactly.
So, long story short, by 2 o'clock, maybe even 1 o'clock, Dennis and his boys are at the house getting my Stacy's windshield done. Yeah. Complete, no SafeLight nonsense. The windshield is all set and back to good.
That's great. And I'm sure Stacy was happy, but how emasculating was it to go through that?
Oh, well, I'll tell you the other emasculating part. I mean, Jesus. So, these guys they're great, and it's freezing out. It's freezing. It's windy. It's horrible. And I see one of the guys running down the street at one point, and I'm like, what's he doing running down the street for? So I put on my cardigan. And I literally, I have a cardigan on, and I have shorts.
And my Ugg slippers.
And I have shorts, and I have Stacy's foam slippers. So I'm running down the street, and he's like 3 houses down, and I'm like, dude, what's wrong? He's like, we usually put all the stickers back onto the new windshield, but your inspection sticker is gone. We can't find it. So I'm like, you know what? I am totally fucking useless, but I can do this. I can find this. I'm like, you go back to the glass. I'm going to find the inspection sticker.
I'm on it, buddy.
So I'm out there freezing, but I won't let them know I'm freezing. And 15 minutes later, I'm still out there, and I find the inspection sticker, and I raise my arm, and I yell on the block, and these two guys literally are pumping their fists, so excited that They're so
The
excited.
fucking loser accomplished something.
Well, because Angry Dennis,
Yeah.
is like, dude, like, you're probably going to get pretty pissed at them if someone's inspection's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually gave them a cold $20 bill each when it was all over.
out of your hands, that's a...
And to this minute, right
That
now,
moth fly out
and she's not listening because she's already made it very clear she has no interest in this situation at all.
She would listen one time.
None. She has nothing. None. She's like, there's no way you gave 20 each. I said, I swear to you, these guys were freezing their asses off.
Yeah.
I gave them the goddamn 20 each, and I felt happy about it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did. So that's what happened with Stacy's windshield. How about your weekend?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you a story that's kind of similar to that to show everybody how unmasculine me and Mark both are.
Yeah.
I had kind of a similar situation,
Okay.
an automobile situation. This wasn't recently. This is a couple years ago before I even met Carla.
Okay.
I was dating this girl, and I had a show up in the Catskills. Coldest day of the year. It was -3 degrees outside.
It's cold up there.
It was freezing up there.
Freezing.
It was -3, day before Valentine's Day, maybe 7 years ago.
Okay.
I'm driving.
Why is
up
it
there.
always Valentine's Day?
Dude, I have
Seriously,
no luck
dude,
with
what the
Valentine's.
fuck?
I have no luck with Valentine's
God,
Day.
you should be in like a Groundhog's Day movie, but Valentine's Day.
I remember because I was such a piece of shit because this girl, she was awesome. She was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And like, I had to show up there, and like I was gonna drive back that night, and she's like, "No, it's Valentine's Day." She's like, "We'll get a hotel room." I'm like, "I don't feel like spending money." She's like, "No, it's on me." I'm like, "All right."
Wow, you are a piece of shit.
I really am a piece of shit
You
because
are
I
a
let
piece of
her
shit.
pay for the hotel room for the night.
Okay.
So we're like 3/4 of the way up there, and running pretty good time for my show.
Okay.
And tire blows out. Right side tire blows out. Coldest day of the year. To begin with, I don't know how to change a tire, and I was gonna pretend that I knew how, but I did call AAA. They were gonna be there in 2 hours or whatever it was.
Okay.
So I know I have a spare tire. I know how to get that out of the trunk. That's
Wow.
as far as it goes.
That's impressive. I
That's
don't
it.
even know
That's
how.
it.
I
know
skipped
that
that
there's like a
class.
thing you lift up and there's a tire under it.
Wow.
And then there's like a jack and a little curly Q thing that you put in the jack.
So you're basically a professional mechanic, is what you're saying.
Basically a professional mechanic. Basically could open up my own shop right now.
Yes, you
Because
can.
I pulled the tire out. I got the little curly Q thing and that goes into the jack. And then I got the jack out, put him up against the car. Now I'm like, all right. I was hoping the guy would be on his way.
Right.
No. So I'm like, all right, I got this. And it's freezing out. So I try for maybe 2.5 minutes to even get the thing, plugged into the jack.
Keep on
whatever
doing
you
that.
gotta
I'm getting
do.
excited.
Just doing
Yep.
this. And I get back into the car, and I'm just like, it's freezing. Let's just hang out in here. She's like, no, I know how to change a tire. My dad's a mechanic. He owns his own shop.
Right.
So now she's outside.
Good.
Fucking cranking off lug nuts.
Wow.
And getting ready to change the tire, but she's like a third of the way through it, and the fucking AAA guy comes. So he pulls up to see me in my heated car, just
Right.
hanging out, listening to the radio.
Right.
And she's outside in -2-degree weather, changing my tire.
Wow.
And just the look of disgust this fucking guy
Right.
gave me
Right.
was just so emasculating.
So
and he goes to her, he goes, no, honey, I got this. Go get inside. And he
Right.
was like this jacked, beautiful, black
Handsome.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
handsome black guy.
Clean.
And within 2 minutes, because he also has the pneumatic drill. If
Yeah.
I had one of those, I'd get it done too. He's like, zzz, 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 zzz,
Oh,
and
yeah.
changes it.
I'm sure you
but
would.
just the way that this guy looked at me, the disgust.
Well, because you're in the car, you're warm, you're knee deep into Russell Stovers at this point,
Oh man, absolutely.
and she's zapping lug nuts on her own.
She is on one knee, fucking trying to crank because we just had like that star thing that you get the lug nuts off.
Wow.
And she's got like 1 or 2 lug nuts off.
Wow.
And he pulls up and she's out there, and I'm just like, hey, what's up, buddy?
I am so impressed with Carla.
It's not Carla. Carla honestly also could probably change a tire better than I can.
So, you know what? I don't know if now's the time because I feel like I just you're ready to tell a story, but I also have a Valentine's Day story myself. I know that you're not going to believe this. This is really true, though.
It could
No,
have
it's
been worse than
Are we just going to
last.
talk about Valentine's Day every week? This should be like the Mike and Herschy Valentine's show.
I can't get over the 20 in the car, in the found card in your house story.
Dude, let me tell you,
Nothing's worse than
it's
that.
a couple of weeks later, and I still have not really gotten
Can't even
over
make
that.
eye contact with her.
Listen, it was most of the times that when I do horrible things in life, I feel like I can somehow somehow justify them. But this one, the next day, I'm like, did I just fucking do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Did I just give her a 20 and
am I that
tell her to buy her
husband?
something pretty?
it's just, you know what? It
Am I
was
that husband? Am I Al Bundy? Is that?
It was just terrible. But this is actually a story that happened on our first Valentine's Day away together. This was in 1995. So this is a long time ago, obviously. And I decided to rent a room out in Montauk because that's where everyone wants to be in the middle of February. A nice, balmy weekend. Okay.
So Jewish to go to Montauk in February.
So we had been, don't forget, we started dating in October of 94. Yeah. February of 1995 is not that much longer. So we're still, still feeling each other out a little bit. Well, definitely happy, but I'm saying it's still new,
Yeah.
So I reserved a hotel, the Royal Atlantic Inn, it was called. It was on the beach. I had liked it very much because I stayed there with my mom and dad. Okay. And the thing that I had liked about it was that it had like a bedroom and then like a separate little nook and a full kitchen.
Nice.
Because that was important to make sure that when I'm taking my new girlfriend, my 21-year-old girlfriend on a trip, there better be a kitchen in there.
Better be a kitchen.
Okay. So we check into the hotel. We get into my 1987 Nissan Sentra maroon with a little sunroof, and we drive over to the
Save
IGA.
some vagina for the other guys. Jeez.
Yeah,
Lord.
exactly. So we get over to the IGA, we go food shopping, and we decide that we're going to get a whole bunch of food, and Stacy is going to cook Valentine's Day dinner at the hotel because that's what every girl wants for Valentine's Day weekend, to be in a strange kitchen in Montauk in a blizzard practically. So we go to IGA, we load up the trunk. Now, to this day, I don't understand what made me actually put the food in the trunk as opposed to just putting it in the car. I go to open up the trunk, put the food in. I go to lock the trunk with the key, and the key breaks in half in the trunk.
Boy. Oh, jeez.
So obviously again, the cold sweat soaking my body, finding a locksmith on Valentine's Day.
Nervous 21-year-old Mark.
I'm just petrified of everything in life. Couple hours later, they come. We get back to the hotel. Stacy, she's cooking like Cornish hens or some sort of small chicken device it was. And the next thing you know, the fire alarm's going off because the chickens went on fire in the oven. So that is how the first Valentine's weekend went with me and Stacy in 1995.
And everyone has been good until this one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
went from Cornish hens to a $20.
Listen, it's not like
fucking get a manicure.
It's not like the ones that you share with your dad every year. But
love my dad.
It's good. All right, so I want to hear. So you took the baby girl to a Dragon Slayer show. What was it called?
They had Jurassic Quest at the Coliseum. That's
okay.
Where we took Juliana and her friend and Juliana's cousin, and it was I don't you didn't take Max to the Jurassic Quest, right?
No, I did, and let's not talk to Max
I love
about
Juliana
this
so
either.
I took her.
I don't want Max to know anything about this at all.
You know what? It was very cool. Carla is super into dinosaurs, so she loved it. When you walk in, and it was like $25 for adults and $40 for kids, and it gives them unlimited rides. So I'm like, you know what? $40, not bad, because she's going to be on rides the entire time. And she's going to be doing her own thing.
Okay.
She got to ride 3 rides. We were there for 6 hours because all you do is just wait in line for these goddamn rides.
Okay.
At Jurassic Quest. They have a giant animatronic Tyrannosaurus that you can ride.
Sure.
Literally, over 2 hours we waited online. She's on there for 30 seconds. And it was fucking brutal, fucking waiting in line. I'm there, because you know what it was? There were other rides, so like Carla would wait in one line while I would wait in the other one, so the kids didn't have to wait so long. So the whole time, all I'm doing is just waiting in lines, and my back's killing me, my feet are killing me.
Right.
So it's her turn for this Tyrannosaurus Rex ride after waiting in line for over 2 hours, and she's there with her friend. So now they're arguing over which one goes on first.
Of course.
And I think, you know what, kids are reasonable. Rock, paper, scissors. Whoever loses is going to graciously say, okay, yeah, you go first.
Fair.
Juliana loses rock, paper, scissors and loses her shit. So now after 2 hours on this fucking line, she gets on this Tyrannosaurus Rex and is just fucking miserable riding this thing.
Yeah.
Just like looking at me like, I fucking hate you.
Right.
Because you should have said Juliana goes first, not this rock, paper, scissors bullshit.
Right.
And she's just staring at me with this fucking hated look.
Yeah, Juliana's my pseudo kid. I'm going to make this decision that she goes first, not this other girl that she's not going to talk to in 6 months.
Exactly. Because what I'm thinking, after I did it, I realized I made a mistake before they even did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, Juliana, rock, paper, scissors, win it, please. Like I have $1,000 on the Knicks.
Right.
I'm like, because she's gonna be. I know she's gonna. So she ends up losing, miserable on this ride that we waited 2 hours for, and like every fucking ride was like an hour wait, and it was.
So all in all, worth it.
All in all, worth it because when we left, they said they had a good time, and it cost me $175, but they had
a good time. Okay.
They had a good time. So that was basically my weekend. I had a show on Saturday night, and it was okay.
Okay.
But not really an eventful weekend.
Well, let's see if
like you said, we were riding the high of all the beautiful.
We were riding the high. I wonder what we obviously had some rough spots. Silly Sally, anything important happen over the weekend for you? Anything newsworthy?
No, I'm good. And I'm just to read some comments too. Like Tony Walker seems to think that you should take Stacy to Zorn's every Valentine's Day from now on.
Yeah, I'll get her a bucket of 20.
Zorn's of Beth.
Yeah.
Think of Zorn's of Beth.
Yeah.
I love Zorn's.
Okay, Tony Walker. Thank you.
Walker.
Yeah.
People are screaming lug nuts. We've all been there. We've all been there with the car and the tire.
Yeah, nobody can really change it. I'm convinced.
Well, we like the fact that people are commenting on the YouTube, obviously.
It was also, we were getting some great comments last week.
We got some messages. I did. You got some messages, and we definitely had a little extra jump in our step because of that.
Yeah. Even right after the show, family, friends, it was a great show. We had fun listening to stories.
Your dad, he texted you.
Dad, he didn't listen. He was just texting me.
Didn't hug. He just your buddies from the couch, they had reached out to you. Yeah. But Sally had gotten some also that she was gonna. I guess you're gonna post these that we haven't seen them yet, but you're gonna put them on the screen for our viewers to see. Now, obviously, some people will be listening to this tomorrow on a podcast format, Spotify or whatever. Yeah. So we'll read it right now and let people know what it is.
Right now,
they were just comments from people that enjoyed the show.
Okay.
So
all right.
We'll randomly pick a couple and look at them.
That's it. Okay.
We're going to kiss our own asses right now.
You're the producer. We're going to follow your lead. Okay.
All right. So, here's the first one.
Okay. What does the first one say?
So far, their show is bad.
So far, their show
is bad. THERE.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it was
okay. Okay, so that one
a grammatical wizard.
So
not an English professor.
We're going to take that one with a little bit of a grain of salt because the person.
So far, their show is bad.
But the fact that they couldn't spell there right, maybe it was a kid.
Yeah, it was probably a kid. It was probably a kid.
A kid messing around. Maybe Max was on there.
Maybe, you know what? That's probably your son messing with you.
Because he doesn't always know the THEY apostrophe RE. So let's assume that was just a gag.
Here's a question.
This was planned.
This was planned?
Someone's questioning, hey, this was planned?
So someone is asking if we actually have put in effort into this whole thing and didn't just...
we got a lot of positive comments.
No, because I guess
I'm
Sally...
sure there are a lot of positive. I'm just picking random
randos. Okay.
This was planned?
This was planned? So, okay. So, all right. Maybe that wasn't one of the best comments that we have gotten.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Probably.
What else you got, Silly Sally?
All right. Let me see.
I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it anymore. Is that in a positive context or a negative context? What does that say? Sally on it? Did Sally write that?
So I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it any. It was so they didn't enjoy it so much where they just couldn't take it anymore.
And had a blurt.
That's interesting. So let's just keep it on that for 1 second. I can't take it anymore. So it's interesting that
my mom posted that. I think.
Yeah. So let's keep that one. Let's keep it on that for a second. The fact that someone had presumably within the first 15 to 30 minutes, made a comment like that, showed that they had zero patience at all. No patience.
They lasted 20 minutes and said, "I can't take this shit anymore."
Like, the truth is, it was the first day of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a little jitters, maybe a little nervous.
I thought it went well.
No, it did. It went very well. But this individual had said, "You know what? Enough. It's enough. It's not for me, and I cannot tolerate it any longer." And you got to give them props for that.
I do. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely give them props for that.
Hopefully they're listening this week.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Hopefully they can take it this week.
We'll give one more Silly Sally try, because this is not going that great. I expect a little bit. I
expect this one to be one of those really positive,
a
home run,
something
a home
heartwarming.
Run. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's hear it. What is it, Sally?
Right. Okay, let me see. Let's pick one.
Let's see one more. Your stories were not good. Your stories
would have told stories.
Your stories were not good.
So somebody felt so passionately about how bad the stories were,
right,
that they had to take to social media, and put together a bunch of zeros and ones on their keyboards.
Yeah,
until they spelled out your stories were not good.
So I would like to know, how much better of a starting point can a show have than a teenage boy on a couch separated by a pillow with his best friend masturbating next to him, compartmentalized with a little separation.
That's the best story.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. But again, the honesty of the fans will help us grow.
Exactly, the fans.
It'll help us grow.
Yeah.
Your stories were not good. There's nothing gray or vague about that.
No, that's constructive
here's
criticism.
a comment from Stephen Fernandez. This week I can take it.
This week
nice.
I can.
See,
Okay,
that's
okay.
good.
Thank you very
That's
much.
positive.
All right, good. Good, Steve. That's good.
I want that to be the screenshot for every.
Your stories were not good.
Just us two blathering each other and it says your stories were not good.
Well, just wait, because Mike, we have a little bit of a pre-production meeting ourselves, usually during the day of the podcast. And when I say usually, this was the first time.
This week and little pre-production.
Yeah,
I was in the bathroom at work and Mark called me for 3 minutes.
Yeah, so he said, "Can you call me now?" And then I heard flushing. So for the people who enjoyed the stories last week, there will be a story this week that Mike's going to tell about. They called it Best Friend Fellatio, but it didn't count because they were blindfolded.
All right, so me and my friend, no.
So,
No,
okay.
you
well,
don't have to sit through one of those stories.
well, we appreciate all kinds of feedback.
Yeah.
But
But seriously, do positive, not positive.
Yeah.
Give us some comments. We'll get back to you guys.
yes.
If you're commenting live on the YouTube, Sally will read them to us. We'll get back to you. So
Yeah, so-
this is an interactive show. If we're nothing, now that our superstardom has elevated us to a certain level, we're still approachable.
We're approachable
We're
for
still
now.
approachable.
For now.
Yeah.
Again, you know that I'm not so good with the technical aspects of things, but trying to understand that if people are commenting, they should comment on the YouTube link, because that's what Silly Sally is going to be reading, not the Facebook page.
Right. I have
Correct.
the YouTube channel up.
So,
Yeah.
So as long as you're click on the YouTube channel, and also once again share it with your friends, share it with your enemies.
Yeah. I did notice
Stories are not good.
we were really over the week there were a lot of people watching after Tuesday. There were people Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There were people
Yeah, the
watching.
numbers went up pretty nicely. And,
Yeah.
we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Whether you're hate watching or whether you're watching, thank you.
Yeah, we would definitely appreciate that, and we hope you guys keep listening and watching. And Mike, who is very technically savvy, downloaded the show onto Spotify. I believe it's called. Is that right?
It's on. Download it onto Spotify right now, and then it's gonna also be on like iTunes and all the other ones. And
Yes.
because I'm very technically savvy, I went to technical school for 6 months.
Yeah. So he went to technical school. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you did. Yeah. So, okay, good. So now that we got that down, Pat, there's actually something I wanted to talk about that happened actually a couple of weeks before we started the podcast. And I wasn't that comfortable talking about it, but I am going to talk about it now. And I want to get your opinion on how you would handle the situation, and Silly Sally, how you would have handled the situation. Okay. So this was a few weeks back, and I had made a post that I was heading to Valley Stream and I was going to go get Ancona pizza. You know how I always talk about Ancona pizza.
Yep.
Okay.
I have to interrupt you because it's really important.
Yes.
So Max said, please tell my dad I said hi.
Oh, hey, big boy.
Maxie.
Here's my man.
So cute.
I love how but now he's saying that after saying that this show, he
no,
posted.
after he was trolling us with their show's not good.
He was your
the
troll?
stories, yeah.
Right. Now he's saying
now-
they're not good. And now he's going to say that, hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, big boy. So I go into Valley Stream, but someone's like, dude, you always go to Ancona. I want you to try this place, Eddie D's. Okay? Eddie D's is a pizza place on Central Avenue in Valley Stream. So I think I was coming back from the racetrack. This is a few weeks ago. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna break course and I'm gonna stop at Eddie D's. Okay? And this guy is always telling me it's the best place. You're gonna love Eddie D's. So I pull off Central Avenue in Valley Stream, pull up to Eddie D's, and I literally had to go up to the window to see if it was open. It was that barren inside. Okay? And it was the door was like hanging barely on the hinges, and it had a piece of paper on it saying "Don't slam the door." Like, I'm like, is this a fucking gag? Like, what's going on there? So I wound up going into the place, and the only person that's there is apparently Eddie D, who's an older Italian guy, very nice guy, great guy. Okay, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have a couple of slices and a soda from the tap, the machine." He's like, "Oh, the machine kind of doesn't work really anymore." And
red flag after red flag.
He's like, but I'm going to put in a pie. I'm like, what's going on here? It's Saturday night. The machine doesn't work, and there's no pizza. I'm like, so what the fuck is going on here?
It has to heat up the oven.
I'm like, my God
We have
in
to
heaven.
preheat the
What did I
oven.
do? Like, I've been going
you should have pies coming in and out all Saturday night.
I'm like, do you have anyone else working on a Saturday? He's like, no, everything's good. I'm like, anyone in the kitchen? He's like, no, just everything's good. Don't worry. So we're talking, and he's like, oh, what kind of pizza do you normally eat? And I'm like, oh, Ancona. And then we start talking about other pizza places in Queens and Brooklyn. Oh, L&B, da-da-da. He's like, my pizza's better than that. So we're just
He's saying this pizza's better than L&B.
He's just,
Better than DeForest.
he's talking up his pizza, but I'm also talking up his pizza because of this guy who told me about the pizza. And I just, I like to placate people and patronize them a little bit.
Nobody knows that better than I do.
Exactly. That's how I got you into this fucking disaster. So
that's why I'm not old right now.
So we're talking, and then, at one point I'm like, while we're bullshit, let me just pay you. And, I paid him, and it was $7.50, whatever it was, and he gives me back $2.50. So, and then pizza's still not there. We're more bullshitting. And he finally gives me my pizza. And he's like, dude, what's your name? And I'm like, Mark. He's like, hey, Marco. Yeah.
God.
I'm like, bro, it was so good talking to you. This is like 10 minutes later, by the way, because the pizza still fucking wasn't ready yet. I'm like, I'll be back. I'll talk to you again. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, oh, you didn't pay me. Okay. Now, at that moment, I am left with a very difficult life decision, okay? Yeah. Now, obviously, the decision is to remind him that I had paid him 45 minutes earlier in the process,
exactly.
Which potentially could have damaged our friendship for good.
Yeah.
For forever. Like, no matter whatever happened, even if he's probably not going to remember because he wouldn't have said it. Yeah. So do I go there and ruin the friendship, or do I just fucking pay him again? So I'll ask both of you, okay, individually, what would you have done in that situation?
I have no spine. I would have paid him again.
Okay.
Really?
Silly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been like, dude, I paid you earlier. Yeah.
You would have said
have
that.
A spine. I don't have a spine.
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo. I don't like confrontations. I would have just paid him again.
So my wife knows that she knows the answer of exactly how I was going to handle the situation, because all I worry about in life is people liking me. There's nothing else I care about. It doesn't matter. If he would have said $74 for that slice of pizza, I would have paid it. It doesn't matter.
If it were me, I would have felt awful that I charged someone twice.
This is what I would have done. I would have said, are you sure? I think I did. Like, I have this $2.50. I thought it was changed from a 10.
Well,
I would have
Yeah.
said it like a weaselly way like that.
So
Yeah,
here's the
I
worst
would've done
part
that.
is that I reach into my pocket and I put the 2 quarters on the table because obviously he had charged me $7.50. So again, he's like $7.50. I'm like, oh, I have the quarters.
Oh, man.
Like, what a pussy I was that I didn't say, like, I don't normally have 2 quarters on me,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
had the 2 quarters, you know.
Oh my God.
So I not only did I pay it, I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry about that. I'm
You double paid and
apologizing.
apologized.
I double paid, apologized, and I went on my way. And obviously, so the pizza was okay. It wasn't great.
What, it wasn't like stellar
No.
pizza?
It wasn't stellar at all.
'Cause I've heard people talk about it.
It wasn't stellar. It was fine. It was like a 7.2. You know, it was like
Yeah,
okay, whatever.
yeah.
But
Well, that's a good New York pizza.
it was fine. But you know,
It's
like
a good football pizza.
yeah, thanks, Dave. But it was just so like so the whole way home. I'm like, if Stacy was here, she would have totally ripped my head off, and
Oh my
rightfully
God, yeah.
so. Rightfully
Did
so.
you go home and tell her that you told him that you didn't?
Nobody heard the story
Okay.
until just now. This is nobody heard the story, and you know, like the chances are, if I'm in Valley Stream again, which is going to be pretty soon, I'm sure, I'm going to Ancona every time because
Yeah.
that's where I belonged, and they've never done that to me once.
Yeah.
I've been going there since I'm 7, and I'm however old now.
Exactly.
So okay, so Sally is fighting for money. Mike, you're
I'm kind of I don't like confrontations. I would have tried one time to say I think I paid you because I have this $2.50. I thought that was changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he fought me on that, I would have been like, all right, here you go, because I don't like it.
Tony
Like,
said he'd say I paid you, and then he also wants Mike to know, hey Mike, I think you owe me that 100 from that time.
All right, I
you know
guess I
that
do.
time you owe me.
I guess I do, Tony. I'll Venmo Sally when
Coors Light wants everyone to know that they're a cancer, and that they're emo.
All right, that's why
Okay.
I drink Miller Lite. I don't know. I guess
who's wearing Coors Light?
I don't know.
So
But like I just tonight, like I went out to dinner with Carla tonight. We
Okay.
went to Beginnings in Atlantic Beach.
okay,
Awesome restaurant.
okay.
So she got a turkey burger, which I just question turkey burgers. They have to be I'm very funny with them. I got the regular burger. Regular burger comes because Carla won't order the same thing. Like if I get a burger, she won't get a burger. We can't both order the same thing. She's
Okay.
she's crazy with that. I
Okay.
don't know if you know people like that.
Why?
She just does. She doesn't want the two people having the same thing. This way we could share or whatever.
Oh,
but
okay, well, that's a good
she
idea.
thinks it's weird that two people get the same thing at a restaurant. So we both wanted the burger. So I'm like, all right, you get the turkey burger. I'll have half of it. You can have half of my regular burger. So they both come. I start eating my burger, and it's awesome. This burger is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Carla takes one bite of the turkey burger and hates it.
hates.
Hates it. She's like, it tastes odd. I think it was frozen. I think it's really bad. So she's like, I'm gonna call the waitress over. I'm gonna send it back. I'm like, no. Here's my delicious burger that I'm currently in love with.
Wow.
And I want you to have this burger, and I'll eat that shit turkey burger just so we don't send something back. I don't like sending things back. I don't like,
So, do you know why, though? I can tell you why that her turkey burger wasn't good.
Why?
Because turkey burgers are fucking disgusting. They're gamey, foul-tasting pieces of shit. That it's funny because we just had this conversation in my house that
Yeah.
Stacy's the only one out of the 5 of us who will eat turkey burgers,
Yeah.
and the rest of us the coloration is not correct.
I've had like 1 or 2 good turkey burgers in my life.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
They're always hit or miss, but they have to have like cranberry sauce and stuffing and shit on them. They have to be
Right.
loaded with stuff. This one had like a sunny side up egg on it that looked good.
Okay.
But I'm like, I was in love with this burger. Probably one of the better burgers I've ever had in my life.
That's how much you love her.
No, it's just how much I hate confrontations with waitresses.
Well, so I'm the same
But
way.
I do, yes, I love her. She
Stacy
might be
knows
listening.
that, and we've been going out for dinner for 27 years, Stacy and I, and it is very well known that I not only do not want her ordering the same item as me, but I get enraged about it, and I'll tell you why. So I will order, let's just say, I'll have the chicken cordon bleu, okay? And then she'll say, I'll have the chicken cordon bleu, but no ham, make the sauce on the side. Please make sure that it's cooked this temperature. Make sure the bread is the brioche bread, and it goes on forever so that by the time my chicken cordon bleu comes, it's just as fucked up as hers.
Yeah, exactly.
And when she says that she wants to order the same thing, she's not looking to cause trouble. She
Yeah.
likes the idea that I had, so she wants to go ahead and
She
match
wants
it.
her version of it,
But-
and you end up getting the same version of it that you gonna hate.
She won't eat onions. She doesn't like sauce on the sandwich. You know, so I'll always try to push her to order first. Except she never is fucking ready though.
Oh my
She's
God,
always in La La Land. So interesting. We have some things in common there.
We're gonna have a lot more in common than you think. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. What's next on the hit parade here, Miss Silly Sally? What do you think we're gonna hit next?
We have. I came across on the internet, and then it's been around for a while. But it's this very misogynistic list of how women should look after their husbands.
Right.
And I'm sure it was written in the 50s.
Right.
Yeah, it's an extract from the 1950 Home Economics book.
Oh.
So this is what you
So it was from
learned
the
in
50s.
home economics.
Oh, they learned that they indoctrinated them when they were young.
It was in the book.
So that they were proper wives by the time that they got married.
So this is something that you posted on your Facebook. That's right. Within the past few days,
Got a lot of traction on my page because I tagged my girlfriend in it and just said, here's a couple of decent ideas. I mean, you don't have to follow it to the T.
but it says here, because you printed these out, tips to look after your husband, extract from an actual 1950 home economics book. So this is not a gag. This is not a bit.
This is an actual.
This is a legit book. Okay.
That they taught little girls, 13, 14-year-old girls in junior high in home economics.
All right. So I'm going to just read one that I would expect that the next time that you're at Carla's house, that this is something that she will adhere to.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, she's very submissive.
Okay.
You've met her. You all
Carla,
know her.
If you're listening, Carla, I would like for Mike, because he's my friend and my podcast partner.
I'll even respond with how Carla would react to that.
Okay. Carla, plan ahead, even the night before, to have a delicious meal on time. This is a way of letting Mike know that you've been thinking about him and are concerned about his needs. Most men are hungry when they come home, and the prospects of a good meal are part of the warm welcome needed.
She would punch me directly in the dick.
In the
That's
dick.
exactly what she would do if I expected that.
She would find your itty bitty dick, and she would
somehow she would, exactly.
She would punch your little dick.
She would punch me right in the dick. Yeah.
Wow.
I do mention to her, I'm like, sometimes it would be nice. I come home from work, I'm working all day. It'd be nice to walk into a meal instead of...
Walk in. I don't want to have a conversation. What should I make? What are you in the mood for?
But then she does the whole thing like, I have a full-time job too, and I have kids to take care of. That old yappy yap thing.
So speaking of kids, all right, so you can read the Prepare the Children one.
Sally, when Tony comes home, do you always have a meal prepared for him?
Always. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, he eats one thing. He eats French fries.
Yeah.
So that's not too tough.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
not too difficult.
Exactly.
You have an easy husband. I come home and I'm a man. I don't know if you know, I'm a man who enjoys a good meal.
I did not know that. I wouldn't know that by looking at you.
No. You wouldn't. But sometimes I have to expose myself on.
Okay, you're being honest.
Yeah.
I'm
a man who enjoys a good meal.
Yeah, no, you're being honest for the viewers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would be nice to come home once in a while, Carla, and there's a meal on the table.
Okay. All right.
Will Sharon wants you to know. Look at these two handsome gentlemen.
Oh, right
thanks,
back
Will.
at you, Will. Our
Love
buddy
you, Will.
Will Sharon.
Heart you.
We'll have him on the show soon. He's a good friend of ours.
Heart
He's a good
you,
friend
Will.
of
You're like
radio.
we have a list of guests eventually. You are definitely like in the low mid 30s.
Exactly.
For that.
Yep. That's good.
You know what? I think you're right, Mike. I'd like for you to, if you don't mind, if you can.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Let's see if this is how you experience your life when you get home from work.
Okay, let's do this.
And also, I don't know. I'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Prepare the children.
Mm-hmm.
Take a few minutes to wash the children's hands and faces if they are small.
Mm-hmm.
Comb their hair, and if necessary, change their clothes. They are little treasures, and he would like to see them playing the part.
So I will tell you that there are days that I come home from work and I will walk into the house and Max is there and he's got literally like chocolate down his chin. Okay? And I'm like, can someone wash this fucking kid's face, please? And then he goes on these haircut strikes where he has like the sideburns, looks like he's going to go to rabbinical school. I'm like, just for once, if I could come home, have this kid with a nice clean trim, the sideburns trimmed, okay, and maybe a little cloth, a washcloth.
You've been working hard all day long.
All day long.
Meanwhile, not going to mention names. Mark works at a school. I went to that school, and I still have no fucking idea what the guy does for a living.
Correct. Correct.
But he does work. Apparently, he works hard.
But I go somewhere other than my house, though.
You go somewhere, and when you get home, you want it a certain way.
I would like for that child to be clean, his face cleaned off, and those little Jewish payasses that he has to be cut.
Yeah.
Is that not unreasonable?
Is that asking too much?
Come on, Stace. That's not much to ask.
No.
The
And
guy
nor
works his ass off all day.
works
puts food on the
his
table.
ass off. Nor is it unreasonable for Carla to have Mike feel comfortable when he is home at the end of the day. Okay? So this is what I expect from Carla. Okay? Carla, make him comfortable. Okay? Have him lean back in a comfortable chair.
I haven't leaned back in 4 years.
You have not been like Fat Joe and leaned back
Exactly.
in many, many years. Okay?
Yeah.
Or maybe suggest he lie down in the bedroom. So that would be nice. Like, Mike, go ahead and take a rest while I prepare dinner. All right? Have a cool or warm drink ready, depending. If it's obviously hot out, you could use something on ice, a frothy drink. But
And I'll tell you, I will tell you one thing. This is an actual thing that happens a lot when I come home, because I'm so accustomed to napping. I love to take a nap.
Yeah, you're a
after
napper.
work. I'm a napper.
yeah.
So I always ask Carla, can you get me a drink real quick or something? Her response is always, you have legs.
Right.
You have legs.
See, I can't do that.
Oh,
Sally
wow.
can't do that. Yeah, Tony, you have legs.
Silly Sally with a bomb from left field.
That was hilarious.
So we might
if
as
you
well
say that
go
to
there.
Tony, that's just being hurtful. 'Cause
So
he's,
I don't think we brought this up, and it wasn't really our place to bring it up because he's not our husband or whatever you and Tony are.
He's all our husband. He's the husband of Gov's Radio.
Sally and Tony Walker, who is part of Gov's Radio, a big part of it, and is Sally's beau. I don't know what else to refer to him. He is he's short one leg. He's minus a leg.
He's minus a leg.
He's down a leg.
He's down a leg, and it's not that how
Like
it
you're
happened.
short 2 legs.
Right. No, I have 2 short legs.
Yes, 2 short
I'm not short any legs. Okay. But Tony is actually short a leg, and thank God
He's missing
he's
a leg.
healthy and with us, but he had
And-
something years ago, and
So yes, that was probably the funniest comment you'll hear ever on this show.
this is why the actual legitimate comments that we had gotten all week were like, can you get more Sally? He said-
Seriously, at least a dozen of the comments were like, "You guys should let Sally talk more. She's funny."
we like Sally's voice. Sally's voice is very soothing.
Very calming.
Can you get more? Sally kind of reminds us of Robin. Can you get Sally more on the show? So,
But yeah, so I do enjoy a cold drink. I like my drinks cold.
Yeah.
I like her drinks room temperature.
Yeah.
So I walk in and I say, "Did you maybe put something in the fridge for me? Because like a cold drink." She's like, "You have legs. Put something in the fridge.
Right.
You know where the fridge is." And I love to take a nap. And whenever I say I want to take a nap, Carla says, "You're a baby. Babies take naps."
well, you like to nap. Now, I think if we said to Carla, would you be able to arrange Mike's pillow and offer to take off his shoes and speak in a low, soft, soothing, and pleasant voice, allow him to relax and unwind? And we know Carla, she doesn't always have the lowest speaking voice.
No.
She's a very confident woman. She's an attorney. She's a stand-up comic.
Boisterous.
But so maybe if she would just circle or highlight this one.
Yeah, maybe. Because you know what? If I had asked her to have a pillow ready for me, it would take me maybe 3 weeks to remove that pillow from my rectum.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying because her and I have forged a friendship, which seems to be fleeting. After, I'd like for her to consider that. I'd like for
I would love for her to consider it.
I would like for you to maybe plead to Stacy to.
How about a don't for Stacy?
A don't? Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Go ahead. Go give us a don't.
And Stacy, I'm not barking orders at you.
No, you don't want to do that.
'Cause I'm a little bit terrified of her myself.
Yes, we all are.
But don't greet him with problems or complain.
Nope.
Don't complain if he's late for dinner. Count this as minor compared to with what he might have gone throughout his day.
Does anyone ever think?
Take Mark into consideration.
Does she think what the commute was from my house?
Those 6 minutes.
The 0.75 mile. The 0.75 of a
A
mile.
lot can happen in 3/4 of a mile.
Does anyone in my house think, what could have happened to this guy during that commute?
Yeah.
What could have happened in his office?
Especially it's winter, potholes.
Maybe his office was a little cold today.
Yeah.
Maybe his personal refrigerator was on the blink. And that's happened before, by the way.
Yeah.
That's happened.
And he would have to use the personal refrigerator 10 feet away in somebody else's office.
And that's never good because they
never
always
good.
have smelly old tuna sandwiches in
That's
there.
correct.
Okay, so it would be nice for once if someone would adhere to these type of things. And let's just, maybe we should all...
Maybe he didn't get to be on the phone with Mike Francesa 4 hours out of his day.
That's a very good point, silly Sally.
Yeah.
Sally is looking. It looks like she has some more. She has some more messages for us. Do you have any more interesting messages?
Let's see. Nick Gurr is my best friend. I don't know what that means.
That sounds pretty racist to me.
Are we going to be able to edit that off? Because we'd like to continue this show after that.
That sounds
That's got to be one of Keegan's
probably
Republican right
one of my-
wing.
Yeah, probably one of my right wing friends.
That's one of the guys that Mike's been on the couch with, apparently, over time. Yeah. So
Well, all in all, I think this list is it's kind of nice because it actually says a goal at the
Yeah,
end.
it culminates with a goal.
Yeah, it says try to make your home a place of peace and order where your husband can renew himself in body and spirit.
But that's all we want.
That's all we ask, Carla and Stacy. Just a place where I can renew myself at the end of the day. And you set it up for
Peace.
Tony, where he can renew himself at the end of the day.
We
the
all
truth
need
is
that.
Tony's had a rough day also of eating French fries.
French fries. Now, if we renew ourselves in body and spirit, all we're doing is we're going to be helping everything else that goes on in our house. So
Exactly.
it's the kids.
You're benefiting yourselves, Carla and Stacy.
Right.
but-
It's just you're putting in some work, but that ultimately is going to benefit yourself in the long run, and ultimately everyone's going to be happy.
Exactly.
So,
They say happy husband, happy
life.
wife.
What is the expression, Sally?
Happy wife, happy life, but happy husband.
Someone had also
knows?
messaged me. I think it was my buddy Oates. He had said, if you have to look something up, don't look it up. You and Keegan shouldn't look it up because this show is going to suck if you do that. Have Sally look it up because she's better at that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, show happened 1 hour.
Seriously, there was a lot of constructive criticism.
I'm like, how
for
did
1
you guys
hour.
know what me and Mike suck at already? He's like, Sally's better at looking things up.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell do you
Things
know
we
that?
haven't even done yet. They're just like, yeah, Sally's gonna be better.
Well,
at that. Just
all
like her.
they just don't want to look at you looking at your phone. That's what it comes down
So-
to.
Exactly. I've seen shows like that where it's terrible.
I have to say that I am impressed by myself that I did not touch my phone once.
I didn't.
this
I didn't
whole
even touch
time.
my phone. I'm touching my heart monitor phone. This is monitoring my heart.
So how are you doing? How is your?
I'm doing great. I had a bit of an episode a couple weeks ago. I had COVID, and from the COVID, it built up some fluid around my heart.
But you had COVID quite a spell ago.
I had COVID with the original. I had the original COVID when it first came out. The real COVID, the Wuhan wet market fucking COVID, in the incubator. COVID.
You had the fresh bat head COVID.
I had the real one, and that was
Yep.
a rough patch. That was a rough 2 weeks, but I recovered. But I got the new Omicron thing. But the Omicron was nothing. I didn't even know I had it. I was supposed to get an endoscopy, and I had to take a COVID test to get to the procedure, and the COVID test tested positive. I didn't even feel sick, but apparently when I did have it, it was building fluid around my heart. And I was at work one day, got lightheaded, started sweating, heart's palpitating, so I drove myself to the urgent care, and I had went into like a eurythmia, I guess it was called. I had I forget what it's called. SVT is what they call it. It's just an abnormal heartbeat that I was having that day from the fluid.
Okay.
So now they want me to wear this thing for 2 weeks. This is a phone that this thing transmits to.
Oh wow.
And this thing I've been wearing for about a week and a half. I get it off on Saturday.
Oh wow.
So this thing transmits to this phone. So this is the only phone I'm touching, not my real phone.
I didn't even realize you had a save your life heart phone.
I'm still not past he drove himself to the hospital.
Yeah.
Dude, when I got there, they're like, "Are you fucking stupid? You drove yourself here?" You're like, I was like passing out on the way there. Like,
Oh, that's great.
You want to hear the fattest thing I did? I thought my blood sugar was low.
Okay.
I thought that's what was happening.
Snickers.
So I went to Taco Bell. on my way to the hospital with heart palpitations.
No, that's usually what they suggest. Because I'm a reader.
Yeah.
So I've read that if the fluid builds up around your heart and you think you might faint, you should stop for a triple quesadilla.
I'm like, this is either low blood sugar or a heart attack. Let me just stop at Taco Bell just to make sure.
Well,
because I wanted to. Taco Bell has Gatorade there,
right?
So I'm like, I'll get the Gatorade at Taco Bell. They have electrolytes, so I'll be able to get a taco to normalize my blood sugar.
Right.
No, that was the stupidest thing.
So
now I'm passing out in the Taco Bell drive-through lane.
Right.
On my way to urgent care, and as soon as I got to urgent care, they called an ambulance.
Okay, so we're saying that a bean burrito, a nachos Bel Grande, and a 32-ounce Gatorade did not cure the water around your heart?
Did not. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I might as well not.
You tried, though, and you gave it a good effort.
I tried.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Self-medicating.
Did you? Because this is what I notice all the time, and I didn't know that it ever happened to you, but I notice all the time that there's constantly an ambulance in front of the urgent care because, and I don't understand it. Like, if you have an issue that you need to be hospitalized for, people tend to go to the urgent care, and it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Exactly. I don't know why I didn't just go to the emergency room, which wasn't far away from urgent care, but I guess I just went there and. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
They don't, because
they didn't know how to put an IV into my arm.
They're like first aid.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They're like barely first aid. It's like a teaching facility.
Right.
They didn't know what the hell they were doing. And then the EMTs come in the ambulance. Like, what the fuck did you guys do to this guy? You know.
I remember the first time I went to the urgent care in Levittown. I took one of the kids there. This was years ago, and it was one of the kids had like an ear infection or something like that. And I was greeted by a female Russian doctor with cowboy boots.
Oh Jesus!
And I'm like, this is not
You're
gonna.
a Bond villain.
I'm like, this is not gonna work here.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been very anti urgent care.
Yeah, after this last experience, I'm anti. Urgent care is when your kid has strep throat. You know.
Right. But even still, like, if you can go to a pediatrician, or in your case with a fluid-filled heart, you might want to go to the actual.
All it did was just delay my trip to the emergency room, which I needed. I knew I needed.
I do love the image of you fainting while online, trying to figure out if you wanted a gordita.
Literally, I am.
Melt.
This isn't a bit. This isn't anything. I was literally in and out of consciousness in the Taco Bell drive-thru.
I love that.
On my way to the emergency room.
I love that. So we're expecting for you to return your heart phone on Saturday.
Yeah, so Saturday is my last day with this thing. All the results are getting sent back. But I knock on wood, I haven't had any.
No episodes. Now, did they think that your fluid has lessened?
They said the fluid was all gone. Heart looks good. I've taken 2 EKGs since. I was in the hospital for 4 days. They were monitoring me for 4 days. Everything's normal.
So these don't usually happen on Tuesdays, do they, these situations?
That was on a Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can get that shit straightened out from now on,
Saturday
between Wednesday and Sunday.
You know what it is? Now I have a responsibility on Tuesdays. So,
you have a responsibility. You're doing a great job. Silly Sally, you're doing a great job. We're just about at the 1 hour mark, and we decided we're going to keep it a nice, tight show.
Nice and tight. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Please, for people who enjoyed the show, please, and people who want to send us horrific comments, still go ahead and share. You can listen. People can listen tomorrow on Spotify. They can watch the replay on YouTube.
Let's say Thursday on Spotify. I don't know. I'm tired. I don't know. If
Thursday, great.
Thursday it'll be up on Spotify.
Good. He's got a lot of initiative.
But right now, watch it on YouTube. Because if you're commenting on YouTube, we're going to talk about it next week. So some of the comments will be up next week. So it's more of an incentive for you guys to watch live. Watch it on YouTube. And just watch everything on Govs Radio. They have so many great shows here. Knock 'em Dead Comedy. It's just a great station. The club is great. Great shows happening here this weekend. I'm gonna come by on Saturday night just to hang out because Anthony Kumi is gonna be here with all the Compound guys.
Oh, great!
Aaron
Okay.
Berg, Gino Bisconti, a bunch of my friends.
Joe Curry probably will be part of that.
Joe Curry will probably be here.
Good.
And so I'm gonna be here hanging out Saturday. So come have a drink with me, watch a great show.
We'll also have the green room show in here
On
on the radio.
Saturday?
So yeah, come in and say hi.
You know what? I'm
and
going to come in and say hi too, so you'll hear me on the green room show. What time does the green room show start? 7?
It's usually around 7:30.
Okay, so yeah, 7:30. Listen to the green room show here on Govs Radio. I'm going to stop by and say.
Now, any show? Do you have any shows yourself this weekend?
No, I don't have a show until March 3rd.
March 3rd. Okay, so it's the week. No, that's the weekend after next.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
This weekend I had some. I have some family things to do.
Okay,
and,
good.
Yeah. So.
Good. Well, great show, Silly Sally. Anything that you want to promote? You want to promote your show on there, maybe?
Yeah, I just did the green room show. Like, watch us. We have Don Sill, Tony Walker, and myself, and we interview all the comics as they're coming off stage.
Okay.
Don Sill's one of my favorites.
And you have your show is on again. Your show
Our
with
Knock
Tony
'em Dead
Walker.
comedy show will be on Thursday morning, and Joe Pantella will be on. And
I love Joe Pantella. Actually, when I was that Catskills show I was driving up to, that was a Joe Pantella show. I was
Yeah.
driving, where I got a flat tire.
Did she pay for his hotel room as well?
No, when he does that show up there, he does it once a year. It's right by his wife's family's house.
Oh, okay, got
He
it.
doesn't have to stay in a hotel.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for listening.
Please share the show as much as you can. Spread the word. We got a bunch of new followers this week. Which
Yeah,
we're happy
absolutely.
About, so.
All right, folks. Thank you. We appreciate it. Signing out.